to have a carnal knowledge of somebody who is not legally married to you is risky because she can allege rape. What immune you from rape is a legal union. Denying your partner sex is a ground for divorce.
If a woman is neglected emotionally for too long, she will begin to find a way to be filling that space, or she will find a way to fill it.
Every dictate that was given to a man and a woman does not have condition. The Bible says man should love the wife unconditionally. Woman should respect unconditionally.
People are just marrying based on what they think and and all those kinds of things. And I think it's something that when you're doing boyfriend and girlfriend, come on. In marriage, everything changes.
Or more than. No. You don't marry who you love. You love who you marry.
Some people marry for different reasons. Some ladies, for instance, marry because I think this man can take care of me. Maybe satisfy you in bed, for instance. That say, man, he's looking at you, can satisfy me in bed, but he cannot satisfy you emotionally.
He ends well, his character is intact, he's a Christian, he's doing fine. The only reason is that he doesn't belong to their gang.
It shouldn't be the basis.
So
What
should we be talking about?
My team just pointed to me that more than 50% of you who watch our videos are not yet subscribers. Please, we'd love to encourage you to subscribe. It is how YouTube recommends more of this video to a bigger audience and more people like you. So do us this favor by subscribing today. Thank you for that. I hope you've done that.
Hello and welcome to ULab. Everything we do in ULab is for your well-being. Today's episode is special. We are joined by the engineer himself. I call him the brand priest. He's been all through marriage, business life, raising godly family, teaching about godly family. His name is Engineer Chuka Anwebunwa. Engineer Chuka, welcome to the ULab show. And to my right is the #1 barrister in the South. He's a celebrity barrister. So welcome, Barrister Favor, to the ULab show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, thank you. And today's episode is very important because we are talking about something that is quietly creeping into our society, into our marriages and homes. Everyone can feel it. Divorce. The pain, the starting over, the trauma that comes with it. Divorce is real. Maybe 1 in 2 person is divorced. Around somewhere within your family is divorced. So today we're here to talk about the divorce, the pain, the truth, and the starting over. So everyone, welcome to ULab. So divorce, gentlemen. So from the empirical information that we have, because it's like almost everyone is like a buzzword right now. So is it really 50-50 or 60-40? Or do we really have flourishing homes and people are not talking about it? Or are people exaggerating the negatives and everybody social media is exaggerating the divorce as if it is so much? What is really the empirical information around divorce? So barrister.
Yes, everything is statistics based. Even if statistics cannot be accurate, but it gives you an idea of what is prevalent and what is being practiced. So that's the essence of statistics. Now, I won't say it's a 50-50 ratio. We have divorce that are on record and we have divorce outside record. So if we are to consider both the ones on record and outside record, then we should be talking about 70-30 ratio or even 80-20.
70% divorced?
Yes, of course.
And 30 married?
Yes.
That's alarming.
Do you share the same sentiment?
Well, sincerely, I know that the rate of divorce these days, has gone up, in a concerning and disturbing way. Well, I don't know about the statistics, but I can say that it is becoming it's going in a very fast lane. And, because unlike weddings, where we have theatrics, we have, the pomp and pageantry, invitation cards and all that. We don't usually hear about the divorce like that.
There's no card for that.
There's no card printed and all that. The only thing you just get to hear maybe is that they're no longer together. But it's not publicized and all that. But a lot is going on. So the next thing these ones are having problems, these ones are not together anymore. So I think I'm tilting towards maybe a 50-50 or a 40-60 in favor of the divorce.
Okay, I think because if we are to tilt towards 70-30, what that means is that 7 out of every 10 person you know is divorced. Is that really true for you? 7 out of 10 persons you know is divorced. Is that true?
First of all, how many out of every person are married?
Okay.
You have to trace it from there. Because there has to be marriage before divorce.
Yeah.
Like I said before, many divorces are not on record. Or better put, those ones that are not on record are what we call separation.
Okay.
And mind you, there is divorce, there is judicial separation, and there is nullification of marriage. Nullification of marriage is when a marriage is contracted with falsehood.
Okay.
Such kind of falsehood is to the extent that the person doesn't have a reproductive organ. So if you're married to a person and your reproductive organ is not functional, that marriage will be nullified. It's different from divorce.
Oh, it's different from
Yes,
divorce.
it's different from divorce. So if your reproductive
I guess that would be in marriage that are contracted under some level of falsehood.
if you don't disclose,
Yes. So
if you don't disclose the fact that
it's
your reproductive organ is functional, then
So what that means
it's not divorce.
is
It's
a nullification.
Yes, because the essence of nullification is you can retain your name after divorce. But in nullification, that marriage is deemed not to have existed. There is no marriage on record.
Interesting. So what that means
That's nullification.
is 2 perfect individuals with everything working intact. Even if it's not working, it has to be disclosed. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But if it was not disclosed, and
Yes, it's nullification. Yes, it's nullification.
nullified, but
Yes, yes. It's not divorce.
I also
You
think
can't even say
I think
it was
it's-
my ex-wife or I'm her ex-husband.
I think it goes beyond, disclosure
Okay.
of maybe sexual organs and things. I think it also has to do with some very pertinent information, that could affect the marriage going forward. For instance, some people have another family and they did not disclose that, so once that is happened, so it's also, I think it's also a marriage that is established on falsehood. So those kinds of marriages stand the chance of being nullified in the court, that they never really existed.
No, that's not nullification.
Well, I'm thinking.
No. Nullification has its own ingredients.
Okay.
Okay.
Divorce has its own ingredients. Judicial separation have its own ingredients. Then detection of marriage has its own ingredients. So, but because of this discourse, I will limit it to 3, which is nullification. So, if a marriage is not disclosed,
Yeah.
and the other party eventually proceeds with the marriage with or with falsehood or under falsehood, as the case may be, it amounts to divorce. And not just divorce, but it also take it further to bigamy, because there is a subsisting marriage that was not officially dissolved before
Another
another
one.
one was contracted. So at that point, that marriage can be dissolved. It's not nullification. Nullification is on the ground I mentioned only.
Only.
Yes.
Not on health grounds too.
Yes. No.
Only on sex.
It's health. It's also health.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
health.
So if someone, for instance, has a, let's say, an undisclosed sickness like HIV, for instance,
It's not nullification.
it
That's
can
not
be called,
nullification.
but it's because falsehood.
It's divorce. Yeah, that's why it's divorce. But nullification has, like I said, every marital dispute has its own ingredients, and there are conditions you must fulfill before such ingredients can be established, and before your relief can be granted by the court. For instance, now in divorce, you must fulfill some conditions or prove some conditions before the court can grant divorce. If you don't prove those grounds or conditions that are stipulated in particularly section 15, sub 1, sub 2 of the Matrimonial Causes Act, if you don't fulfill those grounds, I think there are about 8 grounds, the court cannot dissolve that marriage.
So does it mean then that most of the divorces we see around fulfill this 8?
Yes, you must. Even judicial separation. So marriages are judicially separated, but people call it divorce, but it's judicial separation, because
So we're facing
the only
different things here.
difference between judicial separation and divorce is that one who is usually separated cannot get married. But every other privileges of a divorcee can be achieved. For instance, if a man decides to force himself on a wife upon during the subsistence of judicial separation, it amounts to rape. Yes, but ordinarily a man cannot rape the wife.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, when you're saying a man forcing, because what if it's consensual? I mean,
It
because it
is
can
risky.
actually be consensual
It's
even when they are.
It's risky to have a carnal knowledge of somebody who is not legally married to you. It's risky because she can allege rape. What immune you from rape is a legal union.
Is a legal
Yes,
union.
yes, because you are licensed to go in there.
To the inner room.
Yes, in that tabernacle. And that is why one of the grounds for dissolution of marriage is persistent and willful refusal to consummate the marriage. So denying your partner sex is a ground for divorce.
Is a ground for
Yes, very strong. It's the first ground.
for divorce.
Yes, it's the first.
And what that means again, because he said, if you are having intimate with someone who is not your wife,
Yes, she can allege rape. She can change the narrative. So the tendencies of being
So does it
so
now-
tomorrow the person can say you raped her.
yes,
Even when it was consensual.
yes, yes. That's why I said what immune you from what gives you a defense is I'm legally immune to go in.
This is lopsided though. It means that it's only a man that can rape a woman.
you know,
Because women do rape men for crying out loud.
yes, with the advent of violence against persons law, young boys can be raped, but not an adult man. You can only be sexually assaulted or abused, but not rape. Rape is it's a sexual offense, but it's not sexual abuse.
So when in the case when a man is probably drugged,
yes,
you understand it?
it's
those
sexual
kinds of
abuse.
things. So-
Yes, a man can sexually assault the wife. A
No,
man can be
a
held.
man can be drugged
man
so
can
that
be
he
held-
can by a woman, for instance.
Yes.
To have her way. In
No,
that
rape,
case,
rape
what
is
happened?
defined as a carnal knowledge of a woman under the criminal code law.
Okay, so
Rape is defined
rape-
as a carnal knowledge of a woman upon penetration. In the absence of penetration, there is no rape. There must be penetration. And it must be a man to a woman.
so
It
that's
must
not,
be
A
a man
man-
to a woman.
yes, a man
not,
cannot
not
be
a
raped.
woman to a man.
No.
that's what it means then. It means
Yes.
that the word rape has wrapper around it.
Yes.
And that wrapper is woman wrapper.
It's a carnal knowledge of a woman. Rape is defined as a carnal knowledge of a woman, not
Yeah.
a carnal knowledge of a man. But with the advent of the violence against persons law, that a lot of states have adopted now, the boy child can be raped. So the boy child is now recognized
So
under our
it is
legislation.
wrong to now say a man was raped.
sexually abused, sexually assaulted.
So you can't use the word rape for a
No,
man. You cannot
sexual
say
assault.
sexually
In the same way you
abused,
can't use the
sexually
word
assault,
For a married woman
assaulted.
by the husband, but a married woman can be sexually assaulted by the husband.
People can't be raped.
No, cannot be raped. The concept of rape will fail in its entirety upon prosecution.
Okay, so let's take this conversation a little further. So, from a practical standpoint, okay,
Yes.
as a lawyer and as someone who has experienced also divorce recently, what do you think is really responsible? Is it money? Is it cheating? Is it disrespect, emotional neglect, unmet expectation, unrealistic expectations, or something we are not talking about? What do you think is the number one thing, or two, or for a couple of them, responsible for the increasing number of divorce we have in our societies today?
Now, to every complaint, there's an element. And to every complaint, there's a psychology. Somebody can be saying something, but if you look deeper into the intention of the person's complaint, you will see some hidden ingredients. I can say from my inference and from the totality of complaints that is being put before me, there is lack of sex.
Lack of what?
Sex. Coercion.
Well, I
Hold on. hold on. You're saying that lack of intimacy is the leading cause of divorce?
Yes.
From your experience?
Yes. That they don't expressly say that is it, but you could see that as a hidden cause. You know, there are symptoms and there are cause. People talk about the symptoms instead of the root cause. If the bed is not shaking, that marriage will crumble.
Please, do you share the same?
Well, I think that could contribute a whole lot to it. Even though I also think there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to the issue of divorce. Sex on its own cannot keep a marriage.
100%.
But intimacy, because you need to understand what that is.
Yeah.
It's not about sex and consummation.
Yeah.
There's intimacy on its own has to do with not just the sex itself, but the environment, the feelings of the people involved, how they are connected to each other, the romance. As a matter of fact, is the romance, because sex is the way I see it is an aftermath of romance, of the environment, of the feelings that happens. So when those things are not there, definitely it will start affecting the sex part of things. So I think that intimacy is actually the connection. And most times, they say there's a thin line between love and hate.
Yeah.
And sometimes we might not even really notice that there's a drifting. And before you know, you don't even know when you cross the line. And when you cross the line, it's like this same person you once professed so much love for, is now hatred that is coming from that part of it. So you now begin to wonder what's going on. But you see, at the end of the day, they point out at different things. They point out that, okay, he's not taking care of me, he doesn't like me, he's this or that. There's a whole lot of things. But I think it boils down to intimacy, which of course it boils down to sex.
Yes, because I know again that one of the leading cause of divorce, maybe not in Nigeria, but in the United States, has to do with money. Issues around money too. So you are saying from your experience, because I think I like the way you put it, intimacy. And intimacy, I heard someone talking about relationship and married guy, Okonkwo.
Okay.
So he was talking about Okonkwo and the wife were in Canada, so for something. So on the last day, he was to come back to Nigeria. So he went to get a wife a car because he figured out that the wife might have some restriction moving around. So he went out. The wife came and was looking for him. Where's my husband? He came back with a surprise of a car. The wife was like, okay, I appreciate the car, but I would have loved you around more today because you are going back tomorrow. Yes, I appreciate the car. So he was talking about the idea that people want to be loved in a certain way, not the way we think they want to be loved. Yeah. So it also boils down to intimacy.
Yeah.
Because also in Eden, Adam went about searching for money, looking for stuff, looking for how to make the family better. But behind the scene, his wife was taken away from him because of the same intimacy.
Yeah.
So, but Barrister, do you think money plays any role? Because money is a big issue in marriage.
Oh.
Do you think financial burden plays any role in divorce?
Yes, it does. It does. To a very reasonable extent, it does. Now, let me explain something. I feel it's a cause, but it's not a root cause.
Okay.
Or rather, it's a symptom.
Okay.
Yes, because I've seen a lot of marriages where the woman is not doing well, the man is not doing well, and the table shifted to the woman.
Okay.
And the woman is practically breadwinning.
Yeah.
But in the course of breadwinning, the man exercises understanding.
Okay.
So, in some cases, women are beginning to work so hard. Unlike before, the narrative have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, women are now taking a position where they now bring their expectations, they reduce their expectation, or they cut down their expectation.
Okay.
Because it's no longer business as usual.
Yeah.
I won't say finance is a major problem, but there are many factors that hide under finance. Expectation, some other expectation. It mustn't be financial expectation, but expectation generally is one of the main costs that other causes hide under, such as finance.
And I also think, for the cost for divorce could be different for both male and female.
Yeah.
The woman has a different way of looking at it. The man has a different way of looking at it. I always believe that a man that feels that he's not respected or given his right as a man will begin to malfunction. A man that has been denied sex for a long time will begin to malfunction.
Correct.
There are basic things that men will as long as they have it, every other thing can go to hell, in quotes though. Now, one of them is respect, all right? And one of them is taking care of him, when it comes to sexually. That's why the men are not more into the emotion thing. But women are mostly emotional. So their problem is emotional. Everything is reduced to emotion. Everything, no matter how logical it sounds.
Yeah.
The money is reduced to emotion. The lack of time, you're not giving me time. Like the warden pointed out, the lady wanted the husband to stay with her and spend more time with her than the gift. To the man's own, the man has logically put that together. I know that she is going to need this because I'm not going to be there to move around. But even though she knows she needs it, all right, but to her, leave that first, we'll figure it out later, if that is going to ever be figured out. But then I need you around. Now, to her, if that man does it the first time and does it the second time, it means that you're not giving enough attention. Maybe something else is taking your attention. Now, over time, that will begin to build. Now, remember, she begins to malfunction. A woman begins to malfunction when romance begins to lack in the home or in their union. She'll begin to malfunction. It's basic because they are created to function in that environment. And to a woman, like you said, what love means to them is different.
Yeah.
Every woman wants to be loved a certain way. Do you know that some women will prefer the gifts? You saw this lady that said, I wanted to spend time with you. Some people would have preferred, give me the gift. Just give me the gift. So that becomes their love language. Those gifts you give to them and all that. But what I'm trying to say is that there's always a lack of understanding between the man and the woman into how they get to appreciate themselves. What really do you really like? Because sincerely, sometimes I want to love my wife the way I think a man should love the wife.
Correct.
Or love my wife the way I think my father loved my wife. My father loved my mom. You understand? But man, it's a different thing altogether. One is the expression is different. Secondly, you are dealing with a different human being that sees things differently, feels differently, and all that. So it's for us to begin to understudy ourselves to know actually what this person likes more than what this person likes. It's not about, I know it's the right thing to do. And men are always like that. We know we are logical. But when it comes to the woman, we have to find a way. Women they're not easy to please, the truth be told. But I think we need to begin to learn these things. And vice versa.
There's something I want us to understand.
Okay.
And if we understand it, we will nail this issue.
Okay.
Women are not wired to love.
Hold on. Women are not wired to
Never.
love. Please
They
tell
don't
us.
even have that mandate. Scripturally speaking,
Okay.
they are not wired to love. A woman can only love her subordinates or her children, but a woman cannot love a man. A woman was not given that mandate. It's only men that are wired to love because love is unconditional. No woman will love a poor man unconditionally.
Oh yeah? Yeah, and I think I share that sentiment a bit.
No woman will love a poor man.
Unconditionally.
You know why? Now,
So
even
they
if
don't have that
yeah,
They don't have
because
that capacity.
and the thing is that even if she loves,
Okay.
or seemingly, for after a while,
Yeah.
if it continues after a while, something begins to backfire.
Yeah,
Something
there'll be
begins to
defaults.
Okay. Even if she loves, so it then means that the first love in quotes was based on some visualization.
Yeah.
Or some
happen.
expectation.
Expectations.
A
Women
is-
always have
A woman is
expectations.
only mandated to respect. Aside this dictate.
So what you're saying is that the woman who said yes to a poor man didn't just say yes to what she's saying now. She said yes to an expectation of tomorrow, right?
fantasy.
Because
So
their life is about
if the
expectation.
poverty continues, the love might not
Disrespect.
last.
Yes.
Then
It's
her
possible.
anti-nature will now come up, which is disrespect. So a woman is wired to respect and a man is wired to love. And how a man loves is to take responsibility. And how a woman respects is to align.
Okay. Yes, I think somehow we are correct.
or submit.
But again, since we are dealing with emotions here, because remember,
Yeah.
the psychology of the of action is that it starts with thoughts,
Thought.
then it goes to feeling or emotions, then it goes to action. So somehow there is something we are missing between the thinking and feeling and doing, particularly for women. So from your own practice, also as a lawyer who is seeing a lot of divorce cases, who initiates these divorce issues first? Is it the woman or the man?
There is more from the women.
It's more from
Yes,
the woman.
it's more from the women because I realize that women cannot respect who they love.
Hold on.
They can't respect.
Women can't respect who they love.
No, they can't.
Do you buy that?
See what I think here.
Yes.
A man is a leader in the union. When a woman stops seeing the man as a leader, when she stops seeing the man as a leader,
Yeah.
she starts to malfunction. Because she was created to follow. All right? Now, when you say a woman loves, says a woman cannot respect who she loves.
Yeah.
The love of a woman is not the same with the love of a man. Why? A woman does not really love unconditionally. Now, I'm saying this with a pinch of salt.
Okay.
A man loves unconditionally. A woman's love is fleeting.
Okay. It's based on her feeling.
It's
No,
feeling.
a woman
fleeting.
can love unconditionally, but not to the man.
No. We're talking to the
Not
man.
to
We're
her
talking
leader.
about the man here. We're
A
talking
woman
about the
can
man.
love her children unconditionally.
No.
Women have the
We're talking about the man here.
see.
That's why I started
Understand
by
this
talking
thing.
about
A woman
leadership.
cannot love a man because love comes with unconditions.
So that's exactly.
So there's
that's,
no way a
that's to
woman
give
can love a
credence.
man.
Yes.
We will get it wrong for you to apportion love from a woman to a man.
That's to give credence to actually what I'm talking
A woman
about.
can only
Because I'm saying that a woman is meant to look up to leadership.
Yes.
So when that leadership is no longer there, and she cannot see that leadership anymore, because that leadership is actually what creates the respect. So when she cannot see that leadership anymore, that is where the problem begins.
And that takes me because I believe strongly that the crack in any home that eventually leads to a divorce, from my own personal standpoint, is first the fault of the man.
Yes.
That is how I see it. Now, the reason why I see that is because the man provides leadership, just like you said,
Yeah.
for the home. Now, these days we have increasing rise of, let me use the right word. We have men, in classifications right now. You don't say male and female. We have men, we have he, she, we have she, he, we have he, we have women transitioning to men, we have men transitioning to women. So I think there's a rise of weak men. So in most contexts, we are seeing a lot of men who don't want to take up responsibilities for the home. So when a woman rises and takes up that responsibility, is an anomaly.
Yeah.
And a home cannot function in that way. Now, and there's an increasing number of such scenarios in many homes. So I think it also adds to the fact that we are having an increasing rise of weak men who go on as fathers and are married people and can't take up responsibilities, can't provide leadership, and this also adds to the number we are seeing as failed marriages. How do you think we can address this?
Number one, I think men need to start taking responsibility, especially in the area of leadership. If we understand the concept of marriage, if you understand the concept of marriage and the role a man plays in marriage, it will help us to know what to do per time. Now, the problem is we try to marry based on societal influences, what we have picked up from different things, what your mother told you, what your father told you, what whoever told you, and most of those things are not really reliable because they are not working. Okay, so I ask myself, where did marriage come from? Who instituted marriage in the first place? What was the original intent of the marriage? of putting the male and the female together. What was the original intent? Who created? And I found out it was not men. Marriage is not the creation of man. It was God that created marriage. He instituted marriage. So what was his intent? What was the purpose for studying marriage? What are there boundaries and rules and things that needs to be done? Because he created man differently and created woman differently. So you need to go back to ask the creator. And how do you ask the creator? There's already a policy book, a rule book, the Bible. Now, some people might interpret it differently, but sincerely, look at it and ask yourself, what are the things that a man is supposed to do when it comes to marriage? So in the area of leadership, the man, anytime a man fails in the area of leadership, something goes wrong. You cited an instance of Adam in the Bible when he was, all of a sudden, he was not just close, he was not just around. Yes. Or maybe he was, but wasn't paying attention. Or he just felt maybe,
or maybe he wasn't paying attention.
Yes, maybe he was. But
so you can be around without paying attention.
Yes, you can be around. So what if he was around? Now, the thing is that as a man, you know that you need to protect. It is to protect. And protect is not just about security, physical security. Yeah. It is emotional security. It is mental security. It is physical security. It's financial security. It's all the securities put together. Because the women are not supposed to provide that. That's the reason why when you see a woman providing that, not because it can't happen. I mean, anything can happen and she steps into that, but she can't step into that position for too long. It begins to rewire her brain. Just like Barrister said, that something will begin to rewire in her. It starts changing the morphology, the ground state of how she is and created. And then she will begin to malfunction. So I think that we need to go back to where did it even start? And what are the things that were laid down for the things that needs to be done? Especially for the man. The man needs to take leadership completely whole and whole. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother. Why would that scripture be said? And cleave to his wife. That instruction was not for the woman. Yeah. It was for the man. A man should leave his father and mother. And father and mother is typical. It's typical. Yeah. Because we can see it from the point of, okay, your physical father and your physical mother. We can also see it from the point of what father and mother represents. You understand? Beyond just the physical father and physical mother. But you need to leave them and cleave to your wife. Now, the cleaving is actually what the problem is. Yeah. Because a lot of men want to lord over their wives. You know, that's not what it is.
And cleave.
Yes. And cleave over the wife. And the two shall become one. In fact, that is actually what I'm talking about. And I'm saying today to tomorrow that if we need to solve this problem, we need to go back to the original intent. And that original intent is one word: intimacy. So you break it down, there's physical intimacy, there's mental intimacy, psychological intimacy, there's emotional intimacy, there's social intimacy, and there's financial intimacy. If we don't get these 5 things right, no marriage can really work, especially if we sacrifice.
Okay, let me add something. Okay, so let me add something. It is good for the purpose of our discourse to understand that women can live in all institutions except marriage. Okay. Yes, if you look at the church, some women are pastors of the church, they head the church. If you look at some traditional setting, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth as she then was, she headed a traditional institution. So we have presidents,
business
world leaders,
and all that.
Yes, in the business world, you see a lot of top CEOs that are female gender. Yeah. So, but the family, a woman cannot lead the family. That is the only institution that was exclusively made for a man. Where a woman begins to lead a family, that family is bound to crash.
Certainty.
When a woman leads a family, it must crash in its entirety.
Wow.
Must.
That is
yes.
Very strong. And
That's a strong statement.
but the truth is that a woman is,
she can only influence.
Now,
leading
I think it can be inferred in terms of, when a woman leaves the family, crashing necessarily doesn't mean physical crashing. but things go wrong. If you notice, there are single mothers who try to raise male children. That those male children never really amount to becoming. They are the kind of weak men you're talking about. Any male child that is raised by a woman through and through becomes a weak man. I mean, there's no way.
You might say most, not all.
No, I said most.
Okay.
And I used the word. Did I say all?
Okay, go ahead.
No, but let me say
Most
something.
of them.
No, but can I take exception to what you said?
Okay.
Yes, I take exception because women have a way of positioning a male child. Take the Bible for instance. All male children were strategically positioned by their mother. And if you check what the Bible talked about the virtuous woman in the book of Psalm, you could still see some elements or some traits.
So the virtuous woman was with her husband.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
of course.
I'm not saying a single mother.
So when you're talking about
Yes.
positioning,
Yes.
positioning
Yes.
their children,
All we just need to say is
they have to
all we
have
just
a
need to say-
role model, a male figure
we
as
must-
role model in their
we
life.
must strike
one way
a
or another.
balance. The father and the mother is needed to strike a balance.
No, that's correct.
Yeah, but what we're saying is the instrumentality of positional leadership in family setting must be male gender. Must.
Okay, let's go further. Now, there's something I discovered because divorces don't just happen. You know, when people say suddenly, there's nothing like suddenly in divorce. Now, for me, it takes four stages. There is a stage of neglect. So neglect comes in form of, let's say, when you guys first got married, there's an expectation from both of you. Okay, like you said, the woman doesn't love, there's an expectation. So she has emotional need, she has a physical need, she has a financial need, and when some of them or all of them are neglected, particularly intimacy, like we've established, things can spiral out of control. So the first thing is neglect. Then that neglect spirals into contempt. Contempt is this feeling of superiority. You know, I am bigger than you. You are I own you. I married you. You know, you are supposed to be under me. Okay, then the next one is criticism. So instead of correcting, we are punishing ourselves unnecessarily. Instead of, you know, attacking the person's character, then the last is emotional. When there's a detachment completely, that is where they now come to barrister favor to help them dissolve the marriage.
And they now say it is irreconcilable differences.
But this factor, you're mentioning.
I'm coming. Because I said it first starts with neglect. So how do we nip this in the bud? The first time it begins with neglect. Somebody is neglecting something. The woman is neglecting something, or the man is neglecting something. How do we pay attention to this first, at least when it is about starting, when it is creeping up? Neglect.
Okay, now let me talk about this issue of neglect. Yes, even this neglect is one of the grounds for divorce, but I will interchange it with the right word, living apart. Some people live apart, even their minds are already living apart, even when they are together. But it must be physically demonstrated to physically living apart, you know, for a period of 1 year or 2 years as the case may be. So then there's what we also call to abandon. Yes, to also abandon is even from living apart. Yes, you know, desertion. I think that's the word. Desertion. Yeah. So desertion is even from living apart. There are two things, but you see, it's still rooted in this neglect. You know, neglect is traceable to these factors. Now, apart from neglect, which you mentioned, is one of the very minor of them all.
Yeah.
Because this neglect also comes from mental health, you know, fatigue, and so many, and so on and so forth. High expectation, so you feel neglected, you feel you are not meeting up to expectation, you know. So, but
okay, let me give you an instance.
Yes.
So they can drive this home.
Yes.
Now, when you first got married, you are calling your wife maybe 4 times in a day, right?
Yes.
It's possible. It might be 6 times in a day.
Yeah.
But after the 3rd month or 6 months, after 1 year, maybe it was not once. Yes. Because maybe the initial phase of dopamine effect, of
euphoria.
novelty
Butterfly.
is fading
Butterfly.
out. But remember, you've built an expectation of 4 or 5 when you started. Now after 1 year is now 1. After 2 years is none. Every woman I know that is married, that I've interviewed, I've spoken to, we always go back and say, honey, we are no longer talking about talking to ourselves the way we used to. Most women speak up, most, not all, to always say, this is how we started. Because when there is, like you said, intimacy is so important to women. It might not be sex, but this feeling of connectedness, they want to be always connected to their man, regardless of where he is. So the man feels he should understand, we are no longer married newly, we are chasing money, okay? But for her it's important, but for the man it's not important.
And I think, and I think it's critical.
But
It's critical to understand
if you
that part.
continue to neglect it, you know what will happen? She will stop complaining and find solace in another thing. Maybe she goes to social media.
But let's also
But it's not the
just
major
suppose
cause.
this.
Oh. The major cause of divorce is violence. Oh. It's not if this neglects and
Hold
all
on,
stuff.
you are taking us to another thing.
No. We are going too far.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is that the idea of neglect, you see, a woman, just like we say, a woman is not wired to marry a poor man,
Yeah.
for too long.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because she has, and when we say poor, these things are relative.
Yeah.
All right. But look at what I'm trying to say here. A man wants to go work to provide for his home, for his wife and his family.
Correct.
And his whole mind is about provision. I want to provide for this woman. I want to put food on the table. I want to be able to give them a good life.
Yes.
But the woman wants, I need him around. I need him to be talking to me.
Every day.
I need him to be doing something. Sometimes the man, not because, that's why when you are married as a man, after a point, you know that the burden of the responsibility becomes stronger on you. You need to go out of your way to do a lot of things now, to work, and at that point, love is interpreted or, transits into responsibility. Real responsibility
For the man.
You can remember he said something like that for the man. Yes.
Yeah.
So being able to provide and be responsible, for the woman and the family becomes the way the man shows his own love. But most women refuse to interpret it that way because they want you to touch them, talk to them,
Not
be
that they
with them.
refuse. Not that they refuse. I think it's more of their biology.
No. Somehow, because the truth is, if you can be talking to yourself about it, I'm not saying that there have to be a balance in everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes women go out of their way too much and actually neglect the woman.
Yeah.
Like I said, if a woman is neglected emotionally for too long, she will begin to malfunction.
Yeah.
So once you are doing that, also find a way to be filling that space, or she will find a way to fill it.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Were our mothers not neglected? Why were they not divorcing? I don't want us to miss targets.
Let me say this.
I
Let me
understand
tell you.
that neglect is important, is a factor, but we are misplacing
If
the real deal.
if you're making reference to our mothers, our mothers lived in the.
They didn't live in this dispensation.
Yeah, but we're saying the same thing.
No, we're
Well,
not.
It's not the same.
Let
world.
me tell you why.
No,
It's not the same
no,
word.
we are
Let
unfortunately.
me tell you
we
why.
are justifying a lot of things that shouldn't be factored ordinarily.
No, it
It's
has
just
to.
like saying, giving reasons
so
why
are you saying-
people steal because
are you saying-
they
It's
don't have money.
contextual. We need to understand that the context around
It's
this.
just like saying somebody who went ahead to steal because he was lacking money. You're trying to give him, justify the reasons why he stole because he's vulnerable. Hello? Issue of neglect are minor reasons why a woman should walk out of a marriage.
It is a
Because-
starting point.
No,
Remember, I said this.
It now leads to something more
from
serious.
neglect. It goes to something serious.
It leads to
a
even.
disrespectful woman is a disrespectful woman.
No.
She just needed. She just needed.
I don't buy
Okay,
that.
Me too.
let me land.
Barrister, I don't buy
Let
that.
me land. Let me land.
Land.
Let me land.
Yes.
A person always give reasons for his action. You see, excuse is the tool of the incompetent. Well, I think we know where we're coming from. Monument of nothingness. And they can never be wise for persons that use it.
Correct.
Now, if you have your reasons for doing something, it's a stupid excuse. If you have a reason for disrespecting someone, if your disrespect is as a result of is conditional, then it's no longer respect.
But
in the first
that's
place.
exactly how we men.
No, every dictate that was given to
that's how they
gender,
react.
every dictate that was given to
It's
both
always
gender,
conditional.
let me say,
That disrespect is conditional.
Every dictate that was given to a man and a woman does not have condition. The Bible says man should love the wife unconditionally. Woman should respect unconditionally. So if you're giving reasons why you cannot sustain that respect, then in the first place, you don't have respect. If you're saying, no, I will soon insult you back, you are insulting me, I will soon insult you back, you're pushing me to the wall.
No, what you're saying is correct.
It's as good as saying, I am not well trained. Because if an old man disrespects you outside your environment, you say the reason why I am keeping you quiet is because I will soon insult you. You are not trained. If the reason why you stop respecting your leader is because he was removed from that position and suddenly you stop respecting him, you don't have respect naturally. You are respecting him because
there's something I need
leader.
to point out, and it's very critical.
Please.
You need to understand that human beings are a product of a whole lot of things.
Yes.
First, our temperament, our personality, our environment plays a whole lot of role in who we become, how we think, how we behave, and everything. In this dispensation, that's why I say it's contextual. Trying to say our mothers, yes, I know what my mother passed through. He never divorced my dad.
Yeah.
Yes, there were a lot of few small divorce here and there and all that. But this is contextual. In the age of social media,
And in the age where we have a rising number of women who are working as much as the men.
and the influence. So
but
what I'm trying to say is
the
this.
major, statistically, that is not the major cause of divorce.
I
That's not
think
the
we
major
established this.
What we're
This-
saying is that this thing leads to whatever it is that is the major cause,
it leads to
legally
what?
speaking.
It is this.
It leads
Is
to
that
it.
the reason why a lot of men are taking drugs and hitting their wives at impulse?
Yes. When a man's home is no longer conducive
Is
enough,
that taking drugs? Is
oh,
that
he
the
can-
reason why? Is that the reason
frustrations
Is that
can
the reason why
take you,
he takes drugs?
depression can take you to, can lead you to taking drugs, depression, frustrations, and things like that.
Why is
Do
he
you know that a
frustrated?
man? Why is he frustrated?
Yes.
No, from the
You have to
home.
put your mind in that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not easy.
You have to put your mind in
How
that.
can it be easy? You're facing this thing all the time.
If hitting a woman,
A lot of people don't
hitting a
know
woman
don't know
is
how to
choice.
handle these things.
Hitting a woman is choice.
Hitting a woman is a different.
choice.
I think it's under emotional regulation.
It's choice.
Thank you for staying by and completing this video. But we have another video somewhere on the screen that will take you deeper into the knowledge that you want that will change your life. So click somewhere on the screen for the next video showing. You will love it. It is about your well-being and the psychology that you need to flourish. This is ULab, and we are here to make sure that your life gets better. Thank you. So click on it somewhere on the screen, and I'll see you there.